Hi guys, today's DIY watchmaking video, we're talking about changing a bezel insert on your plastic GMT or Submariner, not Sapphire. This is a video that I get often asked to make by my private clients who want to change an insert by themselves without taking it to a watchmaker. And it is a pretty straightforward and easy process to do. But before I teach you how to do it, I must say, if you're gonna do it yourself, please, please, please practice on a less expensive watch, a watch that you don't care so much about if you perhaps damage it while you're learning how to do it yourself, and use an insert also that maybe is a service insert or one that's already damaged. It's not a tricky process, but it might take a couple times to get the hang of it. Again, this is for plastic crystal watches, subs and GMTs, not for sapphire. We'll show you how to do sapphire in another video. It's a little trickier because of the click spring. So yeah, let's get into it. So you have your plastic crystal sub and you want to change it to a nice new shiny insert that you just bought. What do? First you need pocket knife. Possibly you're going to need the pliers. I'll show you guys why in a little bit. Grab a piece of plastic also that could cover the bezel insert if you do end up needing the pliers. So first thing you want to do is grip the watch with your, I guess, non-dominant hand. For me, it's my left. What I like to do is I like to put my thumb over the crystal. Why do I like to do that? Because sometimes on these old watches, if they're still a little cruddy or if the tension ring isn't clean and secure down there, when you're lifting it up, you might lift the tension ring along with the bezel together in one piece, and the crystal could pop up as well. And if you're not careful, your knife could slide right in there and scrape the dial. So I like to hold the crystal down to make sure that I'm not lifting the crystal up with it. What you're going to do is you're going to slide your knife right under the bezel and push it in a little bit. So now we're inside underneath the bezel, and you're simply, with the hand that's holding the knife, going to turn it up and push upwards until the bezel gently pops out. Now, if like I said before, the tension ring pops out altogether in one piece, it's not a big deal, don't freak out. And what I mean by tension ring is this piece right here. So now, sometimes when they're all glued together or, not cleaned properly, and oof, boy does this watch need a cleaning. We'll do an ultrasonic video next. This piece will come up with it, and it'll come up as one piece. So you see where I'm talking about, where the crystal pops up with it? So simply just press the crystal back down, press the tension ring back on. You could even separate the tension ring, put the crystal on, and then slide the tension ring back over it. If you don't have a press, do your best to just push it off. If the tension ring does slide off with the bezel and it's inside, you just simply need to take the knife out and pry it out. I'll show you how to do that, or I'll show you what that looks like once we're done here. But we got the bezel out successfully without the tension ring. So put the watch to the side. Assuming your bezel insert is not glued in, all you simply really need to do is push it out with your thumbs, and it should slide right out. If it's a little dirty, sometimes you could even use a knife to kind of, give it a little room there. It should just pop right out. If it's giving you too much resistance, stop what you're doing, because by giving it too much force, you might bend the insert from the inside. And once you start bending the insert, it's really hard to make them flat again and straight again. So yeah, the insert should just, like I showed you before, pop right out. So put your old insert to the side. Now you have your new insert. In an ideal world, what's going to happen is that you're going to put this insert on top of it. I think this camera's over here, but so we're going to try to face it this way. And you should be able to just simply snap it in. Now that's an ideal world. Let's see if this one snaps right in. It does. Okay, so in an ideal world, that's what's going to happen. But these inserts, not all were created equally, and they're old parts. Sometimes they're a little bit bigger, sometimes they're a little bit smaller than the insert, than the bezel ring that you're trying to fit it in. So sometimes you'll get part of it in, and there will still be like a little gap here on one side of the insert that's not pressing in. So you could do one of two things that I like to do. And again, I'm not a watchmaker. I'm friends with a watchmaker. He's taught me how to do a lot of things. That's why I recommend, if you're going to do this yourself, again, I can't stress it enough, practice on parts that you don't care about. So if it is popping out, you can't press it in yourself, and there's like one little edge still, not pressing in, what you could do is take a hard surface like this table, hold it in, and gently press it in. Kind of roll the bezel around, and it should snap in. If that doesn't work, So here, for example, we have this little last part, we roll it against the table and it snaps in. If that doesn't work, what you could also do is get a set of pliers. Now, if you're going to use pliers, be very careful with the pressure that you're going to use. Always put a piece of plastic over the insert so as not to scratch and damage the insert. Put pressure on the side that's already in with your finger, and just gently, and they need to be flat pliers. Do not use pointed pliers. They need to be flat like this. Gently, gently, gently press certain areas of the bezel, and you're going to hear an audible snap when it snaps into place too. So gently, gently, gently press it in. And this is usually good when the inserts don't quickly snap into place and you think they might be a little too large. And if they're too large and you're not having any success at all, take it to a watchmaker. Sometimes they need to ever so slightly shave the insert so it fits into place. And that's pretty much it. So we have our new bezel insert in. We grab spacer here, put it back on top, and simply press it back down onto the watch. You're going to hear a snap. Try to go around the watch. There you go. Go around the watch so you make sure it's successfully in place. And that's basically it. Let me show you guys what it looks like when the tension ring is still inside the bezel. It happens a lot, so you need to be careful and need to understand what to do. So we're going to take this tension ring off. We're going to pop the crystal out. Okay, we're going to pretend as if they all got stuck together. This happens a lot, especially on older watches when they haven't been cleaned and they've been sitting and you get that barn find watch and everything's very dirty. So it's going to look like this. What's going to happen is you're going to get your knife under the bezel, and most of the times what should happen is that bezel that we just looked at would pop out and the tension ring would stay on the watch. But a lot of times, and that's why you keep your finger over the crystal to make sure the crystal stays on, but you're going to pull up the bezel and the whole piece pops out. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your knife and simply slide it in between the tension ring and the bezel, kind of give it a little pressure, maybe twist a little bit, and separate them. Now again, what you really should be doing when you're putting this tension ring back on the watch is using a professional press to press it back on. If you don't have a press, what you can do is literally just use your fingers, use the edge of a desk like this, like I use, or a hard surface to press it on, and really do the best you can until you're able to get it to a watchmaker to press it. This one kind of slides right on all the way down, so it's actually pretty convenient, but a lot of times it won't do that. But do the best you can. Don't go swimming with it or anything like that if you cannot get the tension ring all the way down over the crystal. And yeah, that's it. Again, I can't stress it enough. Be careful. Use parts that you're not worried about messing up, and practice on watches that you're also not worried about messing up, because things go wrong, and you know, we all have heard the horror stories of taking watches to watchmakers and getting them back in states that we did not initially give them to them in, aka the watchmaker messing up a watch, and you know, stuff happens. So, but it's a fairly straightforward process. I would practice it a few times, and yeah, comment below if you need any tips and advice, and let me know how I can help. Thanks, guys.